Hi, welcome. Come on in. Hopefully the rain didn't get you. It's getting rather windy outside. Um, can I help you with anything today, or were you here for the complimentary tea tasting ceremony? Okay, you're here for the tea tasting then. Give me a moment, and I'll go ahead and pick out some teas for you. Did you have anything that was like your preference, like oolongs, green teas, black? Okay, you're a fan of oolong then. I definitely have quite a few in stock. I'll bring in a couple black teas as well as a couple herbals, which are really nice for rainy days like this. Let's see. Okay, I think I've got everything I need then. So I'll start you off with the herbals first, and then we'll move on to the oolongs, and then to the Earl Grey that I brought out. So the first one, it is from Townsend's Tea, so you can see the logo there, Townsend. It is a local company that's based out of Bend, Oregon. Since we are in Oregon, it's really nice to find some locally prepared teas. And they do have really high quality loose leaf teas, which is what this is here. So it's a wonderful choice if you're looking for something that's not super expensive or anything, but definitely has a lot of quality to it. So I'll just open this up for you here. As you can see, it's an airtight container, so that just fits in nicely, keeps your tea really fresh, and then it pops off without a hitch. So this is peppermint tea. I don't know if you can see it there, but here, let me just get a couple spoonfuls into one of these bowls, and that way you can see the tea. As you can see there, it is a peppermint tea, so it's completely full leaf. It's just ground up. It's loose leaf. And it has a beautiful, strong smell of peppermint. So if you like things really, really pepperminty, this is great for that because it does have a really strong, distinct flavor and gives you a lot of that mentholation, which is great if you've got a cold or if it's really just cold and you want something to warm you up. And we can certainly try this one out for you if you'd like. I do have an infuser, so if you'd like to infuse any of these teas, we can definitely do that for you. So again, that's just the peppermint there. You can see that these are really nice big flakes as well. So the quality, even though Townsend's is less expensive, the quality is not at all hampered. You still get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. And then for our second herbal, I have a rooibos tea, and it's completely non-caffeinated, so you don't have to worry about that. It is, I believe, based from a bush in Africa, which is a different source of a tea-like drink. And as you can see inside, we've got some nice blossoms there, and those are jasmine flowers. So those give it a really nice floral taste and aroma without being too overpowering. And it's only got 3 other ingredients beyond that, which is the rooibos, lemongrass, and you can see the little bits of lemongrass here for that beautiful taste, and then some vanilla as well. And that's just another airtight container there. And as you can see, it's got a clear lid, so you can see just what the tea looks like without having to take off the lid. And so I'll just spoon that out into one of these bowls for you. And you can see the tea here. The red flakes are the rooibos. And then, of course, we've got some jasmine flowers here. And then these larger bits and bobs are the lemongrass up top. And the vanilla has been infused into it. So you always get a really nice hint of vanilla without having to like search in here for the little bits and bobs. Okay, so I'll just spoon some out for you. Oh, you like the bowls? Yeah, my roommate, she made these in ceramics class, and she was kind enough to lend me them so that I could use them in the tea shop. And they are just red clay. They were completely handmade, even with these decorations on the side. You can see those. They're just nice little. She said that they reminded her of a sea urchin, and I can definitely see that. And it's got a dark olive glaze on the outside, and on the inside, a glossy sky blue. So they're really beautiful, and again, handmade. Okay, there's that one for you. And so that's our selection of herbal teas. So again, these two don't have any caffeine. So if you want to drink them before bedtime, totally fine, totally safe. You won't have any caffeine to interrupt your nightly slumber, which is wonderful, especially when it's kind of like if like me, it's your nightly routine to grab a cup of tea, head off to bed, and then read a book for a few hours before finally drifting off. So next we've got two types of oolongs, and I do have a bagged oolong, which is still very high quality, but it's got the convenience of being bagged, so you don't have to worry about bringing your infuser with you anywhere, or worrying about like cleaning out your infuser. So it's really just nice and easy to be able to have a high quality tea, take it with you, pop it in your bag, and then just have it at lunchtime. So I'll start with that one, and that is this here. It is from Prince of Peace, which is a company that donates part of their proceeds to funding sanctuaries for tigers over in India and China. So it's a really great eco and environmentally conscious choice of tea. It's also organic, so you know that nothing's bad is going into the soil when this tea is produced. And so I'll just pop this open for you here. As you can see, it comes in this very nicely 100% recycled bag, and then it just pops open, and it's not got like any sticky things, it's just the paper's printed. And then you've got the tea bag here, and so this is recycled here. It's not bleached or anything, so it is a little bit darker. It's like a shade of tan, you can see there, compared to the paper. And it's got no metals or staples. It's just completely 100% paper, so you know that you can compost this if you do have composting facilities, or say if it's in a landfill, you know it'll also compost there. And then it's just got like a little Prince of Peace organic tag. And you can see that the tea is very finely ground, so it will infuse nicely. And it just comes with, you know, a good amount of tea in the tea bag itself. You pop it in your like into your cup here, and then of course, you know, you dispose of it when you're done. So I'll just put this one to the side here while we take a look at our other oolong. This oolong, which I have here, is also from Townshend, so you can see their logo there, which is the cute little green teapot, which is, I'm really quite fond of it. You can see it a little bit closer. It's just got a little green teapot. And this one's also based from Bend, which is in Central Oregon. That's like right in the middle of the state. And this is a coconut oolong, which happens to be many clients' favorites. It's a very rich but also mild oolong, so you don't get a lot of bitterness like you do sometimes with black tea. So if you leave the baggie in too long, of course you'll notice that the tea gets very bitter, especially if it's like an Irish breakfast tea or anything that's super strong. You will notice that if you do leave the tea bag in too long, it may become bitter, but this one will not. It's a very nicely mellowed and roasted oolong. It's also got a little bit of coconut inside of it, so you get all the essential oils from coconut as well as a beautiful aroma. So you can see the label here, and I'll just read that off to you, which is Wenxiao Baozong Oolong Tea blended with coconut flakes, a delightful combination that's great hot or iced. And I haven't had the chance to try it iced yet, but I do know that it is wonderful hot. And so this one's a different type of tin. It's a little bit larger, and it comes with a screw type lid rather than one that just pops on and off. So as you can see, it's solid aluminum, so it is very durable, and it just folds down nice and tight, so it's airlocked. You can see there, it's a nice airlocking seal on the inside. And then I'll show you the tea. You can see all of those coconut flakes, and it's unsweetened coconut, so there's no sugar added. It's just pure and natural. And the oolong itself has very nicely shaped leaves. You can see there that they're the entire leaves. They're not broken up or anything. So it's a very high quality tea, but again, not terribly expensive, which is wonderful when you're looking for high quality tea that is sustainably sourced and locally procured. And I'll just tip this into one of these jars for you. So we've got our 2 oolongs over here, and then our herbal teas. And then I've got 2 others that I'd like to show you. Both of them are really nice. One of them is wonderful for iced tea, so with the upcoming summer. I know it doesn't seem quite like it's going to be summer yet, since it is rather rainy and cold outside, but I know that next week we're supposed to get about 70 to 75 degree weather, so if you'd like an iced tea to take with you to the garden or out on a hike, this next one will be perfect for that. And this is from Full Leaf Tea, which is actually produced here in Ashland, Oregon. They ship out of a couple of the coffee houses in downtown Ashland. So if you go in, you might notice these particularly striking gold packages with the full leaf symbol on the front. And this is made in Ashland, Oregon. So all the tea is grown here. It's sustainably harvested, and in keeping with Ashland, it is completely organic. So it does fit right in with the town's culture, which I think is wonderful, especially since organic really is the way to go when you want to protect the environment. So you can see the packaging here. And this was a 2-ounce bag. This is just a sampler. So if you were to purchase this, you'd get a full one instead of one that's, just folded it here down at the bottom. And this one was this 2-ounce bag was $8 for me, so that's about $4 an ounce, which is on par with Townshend's prices as well. You can purchase these at the Saturday markets as well, so if you wanted to head downtown in between going to the Shakespeare Festival, you definitely can stop by and you'll be able to see the big garishly colored tents, I suppose you'd call them, during the Saturday market, and they do run a booth there at the downtown one. I'm not sure if they have one at the Rogue Valley Growers Market that they host over by Science Works, but I do know that they have them downtown, and that's every Tuesday and Saturday, I believe, which is a really great time to stop by, especially in the summer. And as their logo implies, this is a full leaf tea, so it's not, the leaves aren't chopped up, they're the entire real deal. Just grab a little bit for you so you can see. Here's a little bit. You can see that the leaves are very long and they've been nicely rolled. So let me just grab one of these containers and spoon some out for you. Oh, I forgot to tell you what flavor this is. It is a jasmine green tea, so it does have, it is jasmine scented, but it's still a green tea. And it's wonderfully light and sweet when you cold brew it. That is, you brew it in cool water and then refrigerate it rather than using hot water. I find that when you cold brew it, which I was recommended to do so when I purchased this wholesale, it imparts a much more sweet flavor than if you hot brew it, which is still very nice, but I find that I prefer it cold brewed because it doesn't have any bitterness that the green teas are sometimes prone to leaving. So I would recommend, if you did want to try this, to cold brew it. Unfortunately, I only have hot water here, and cold brewing takes a long time, so I wouldn't be able to show that to you today. But in the future, if you would like to purchase this, just know that cold brewing it is a wonderful idea. And then we're coming to our last tea, which is a darker tea. It's an Earl Grey. And it's also from Townsend. It comes in this nice bag, which is very hard wearing. And again, you've got the Townsend's logo on the front here. And as you can read here, this is a Creme de la Earl Grey. This is a 4-ounce container. It's about halfway through, as you can see on the side there. So if you did decide to purchase this, again, you'd get the full filled up bag, which does fill right up to the top rather than halfway full. So this is about 2 ounces just down here at the bottom. But this is it's an Earl Grey, of course, but it has been infused with an essence of French creme with blue mallow flowers. So it's a really, really pretty tea with the dark tea leaves themselves, and then you've got these cute little blue flowers in them. So it's really nice for presenting to guests just because it's got such vivid coloration. So let me just spoon out a couple teaspoons for you. And I love the smell of this one. It reminds me so much of like early autumn days where it's really crisp in the morning, and you walk to school or down to the library or to the post office, wherever you're headed, with like a little tumbler of tea. And that's what this tea reminds me of so viscerally of. And when you do package your teas, it's important to make sure that there's no air remaining, just to keep the tea as fresh as possible. Inside of this tea, you can see some of the blue mallow flowers, like here's one, and they really create such a nice contrast with the tea. Although I'm not sure if you can see it, it's a little bit dark outside, so the lighting's not as good in here as possible. But with a little bit brighter lighting, you can definitely see the blue flowers. See, there's one right there. And so they really have a beautiful coloration within the dark tea. Okay, so now that we've gone through our teas, do you know which ones you would like to try? I do have an infuser here, so trying out any of the loose leaves is fine. We can also try out the bagged tea as well. So do you know what you'd like to have a go with? Well, let's see. Out of these, are you looking for something that has caffeine in it, or maybe something that's a little more mild? A little more mild? Okay. I would rule out the Earl Grey then, since it can be quite strong. I do prefer a strong tea myself, and if you're looking for something to really wake you up in the morning, it's excellent. But if you're looking for something that's more like a late afternoon, evening, or even before bedtime tea, I would not recommend that just because it does have a little more caffeine to it. Let's see though. I definitely recommend the peppermint tea for that, since it's such a calming classic tea, and it's got a great flavor to it. Townsend's has a really high quality peppermint tea. And I'll also put up the rooibos tea, just in case. And if you do want to buy that one, it's from Metolius. It's also based out of Bend. I have a lot of teas from Bend. They are really known for both their breweries as well as their tea shops in Oregon. Portland rivals them as far as tea and brewing goes, but it's generally known that Bend is where you want to go if you want to get your growlers refilled. But the flavor is called lemon cream. So if you ever do want to purchase through us, or if you want to head out to Metolius in Bend in their headquarters, that's what flavor you'd look for. So I would recommend that one as well, just because it doesn't have any caffeine in it, and it does have a really light, very rich, creamy taste to it, which is wonderful as an after dinner treat or right before bedtime to really settle you down into sleeping mode. And then I think I would recommend the coconut oolong. This one from Prince of Peace, it does tend to be a little bit stronger than the coconut oolong, as I think the coconut within this one from Townsend's, it definitely has a lighter flavor compared to this one. This one's a little bit toastier, a little bit nuttier, and a little bit darker in coloration, whereas this one's a lighter tea, and it's a little bit lighter bodied. Okay, I see. So maybe then we'll rule out this guy here. And then you've had peppermint before, so you think you'll give the coconut oolong a try? Okay, we can definitely do that. So let me just prepare this. And which mug would you like? I have one that's from Steamboat Inn, which is a lovely little inn up on the North Umpqua. It's also in Oregon. So if you go about 2 hours north of us on I-5 and head into Roseburg, you go east from there on, I believe, Oregon 99. Don't quote me on that though. I'm really bad at directions. But you go east about 20 minutes and you'll reach Glide, and then another 20 minutes past that and you reach Steamboat Inn, which is a very historic logging inn there. It's been around since the early 40s, I believe. It was either the 40s or the 30s, so it's been around quite a long time. And so I just have one of their little mugs from some time I spent up there. And then we also have this one here, which is from a ceramic shop up in Portland. So it's got these really lovely swirls within the glaze. And I'm not sure how they made that effect, but I'd really like to know for my own ceramics project. So it's a really beautiful cup. And of course, you've got the artist's signature on the bottom. And go for this one then? Yeah, that is my favorite one. I do like this one, but this one's got such a cute little charm to it. I'll just set that one aside, and we'll get your tea started. You just grab the hot water. Okay. while we wait for that to brew, it'll just take a few minutes. We can talk about anything you'd like. Oh, you're in Ashland just visiting then? I thought you might have been a local. You seem pretty well versed in the area. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely think of a couple places that you might want to visit. Are you looking for like restaurants to have dinner at or anything like that, or just kind of local attractions? Okay. Okay, I can certainly think a couple things like that. Well, for one, we have Dagoba chocolate, which is locally produced. It's all organic chocolate, and they have a really wonderful selection. That's on the south end of town. I'm not sure of the exact address as I haven't been there myself yet, but I have had a lot of their chocolates just from from local retailers. It's great stuff, and I know that you can also do chocolate tours. You just need to call them up and say, hey, I have a party of however many, say 4, and they'll get a time and date set up for you, and then you can go tour the whole facilities. But they're just right on the south end of town. So I'm sorry, I have a little bird. This is Alfie, and he thought he'd come and say hello. There you go, Alfie. But I know he's really quite wonderful. He can be a little bit of a handful, but I do enjoy him a lot. Come here, Pumpkin. He sometimes likes to get in trouble, though. So it's always interesting to try and make sure that he's not getting into anything he shouldn't be. Here, off you go. Good boy. But where were we? Oh, Dagoba. So, Dagoba's on the south end of town. If you head out Siskiyou Boulevard towards SOU, the college, and then you'll take a left-hand turn onto, I believe it's Ashland Street, and that'll take you towards Dagoba, and then it's just about 5 minutes outside of town. So it's really quick and easy to get to. And they have wonderful chocolates and a beautiful facility. As far as breakfast places go, I can definitely think of one that I've been to, and it's kind of like the gem of Ashland. It is Morning Glory, and it's like just across from SOU, so it's super easy to get to. You can see it right from the main boulevard, but it is very popular. So in the mornings, you'll want to get there first thing, right when they open, just to make sure that you can get a table. They do open at about at 7:30 a.m. So just make sure you're there in time. But they have the most beautiful selection of foods, wonderful, wonderful homemade entrees. Their breakfast sausage is to die for, and if you are vegetarian, they also have plenty of selections for you to choose from. Like they have a full range of Belgian waffles with. They have some that are blueberry waffles with their homemade lemon butter, and it is to die for. Their lemon curd is also wonderful. I can't really recommend them enough. They're just a lovely establishment and a lovely restaurant, and I would definitely encourage you to go join them. Yeah, SAU is about a mile from where we are right now. We're on the north end, so if you head just along Siskiyou Boulevard towards the college, it's about a mile. It's only about a 5 to 10 minute drive depending on traffic. This time of year, it's a little bit busier outside just because the Oregon Shakespeare Festival is starting up. And I hope you did get to go see a couple plays. You did? Excellent. But with OSF starting up, we do have a little more traffic in town, so it might be closer to like 7 or 8 minutes worth of a drive rather than 5 during the off season. Yeah, it gets a little bit busier around the summertime just because we have more visitors. But again, it's a pretty quiet town here. It's really very nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here to visit. It really is nice to see folks coming in from other places. But now your tea should be ready, so let me just go ahead and pull out the strainer. Make sure to let everything drain out just so you get the goodness of everything. And I'll just set that aside over here. So as you can see, it's a very nice light green color. Oh, what's the speckles on top? And that is the oil from the coconut. So the coconut is unrefined, so it does still have the natural essential oils in there. So if you can smell it, you can smell that light coconut fragrance. It's not too heavy, just because. So it's nothing unnatural, but you can definitely smell a little hint of coconut in there, giving it really a nice, almost tropical vibe to it. Yeah, it really is lovely. So if you'd like to take a sip. It is very light, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. hmm Yeah, definitely. You could brew it longer with, and I wouldn't recommend doing it too much longer, maybe 30 seconds at the most. Or you can add, say, another teaspoon of tea if you'd like it a little bit more full-bodied, or a little bit, just a little bit stronger. That's usually what I do rather than brew it longer. With all this tea won't do it. Other teas will become bitter if you oversteep them or brew them too long. So if you would like a little stronger of a flavor, I would recommend just adding a little more tea instead. hmm Yeah, that way you just don't get any bitterness with the tea. Because it's really not fun if you have you wait for the water to boil and you pour yourself a cuppa and it's just a little bit bitter. Yeah, but thankfully this tea doesn't do that, which is why it's one of my favorites. I actually need to reorder it for my own personal collection since I do tend to drink it quite quickly. hmm And were you thinking of purchasing any of these teas with us today? hmm Okay. Yeah, I can certainly get you an ounce of the peppermint, and then you were thinking an ounce of the coconut oolong as well, just to take home with you? Okay, yeah, we can certainly do that. We sell by the ounce, so it's not like you have to buy a 2 or 4 ounce instead. Yeah, so go ahead and get that packaged up for you. So if you just want to have a seat over by the counter, you can take your cup of tea with you, and I'll get everything packaged for you, and I'll be right over. Yeah, no problem. It was really great talking with you, and I hope you have a wonderful time in Ashland. hmm Yeah, Morning Glory is open every day of the week, so if you wanted to head over there tomorrow, you'd definitely be able to. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I could assist you. And again, I'll just go ahead and package those up really quickly for you. And you're more than welcome to take your tea with you. And I'll be right with you. Awesome. Have a great day. Bye-bye.